Hi YouTube. I want to share a message with you in a sense of Jungian psychology. We develop archetypes and observe and describe archetypes on my channel. The background of my YouTube channel is narcissistic psychopathic abuse. And to clarify something, when you are a certain personality or archetype, there will be a circle that will never be solved. And that is that you might accuse people to be narcissistic and psychopathic, while they in return will accuse you to be too sensitive or unrealistic or naive. So today I want to describe to you the archetype that I call the hyperfunctioning griefer. This archetype is represented, so you will find it in Arathon's son, as well as to a certain degree in Yeshua HaMashiach, aka Jesus Christ, as well as in David Goggins. So what archetype is that? And what is my point of view about archetypes overall? See, first of all, archetypes are not there to over-identify with. It's not your favorite action hero figure that you choose and you then try to imitate it, or you inflate your ego with trying to be that. Archetypes are, number one, eternal mythological sets of skills built that can guide you and take you over to a certain extent, but they are not there to be over-identified with. Or you have a blind spot, a shadow, you don't know yet where it comes from and what circles it creates. And this means you represent an archetype that you don't know yet. And it could be the archetype of the hyperfunctioning griefer. If you can identify with David Goggins, Arathon's son, Yeshua HaMashiach, or the description I will give you, this might be part of your personality. A shadow, and thus an archetype. You see, shadow in Jungian psychology sense means something repressed, something that you don't see. It's as if it's hiding behind your eye. You see everything around perfectly, but you can't see behind your eye. A shadow also means that you radiate a light. You see many things very clear. But there is just something that is your blind spot and you can't see, and thus it is your shadow, okay? It has a control over you and you don't know it yet. So, the childhood wound behind this archetype is a lack of protection, support, and nourishment in early childhood from parental figures. An identity that is in some way repressed. What the fuck? And person was not able to fully live up to it for whatever circumstances. Is a person that has to carry it alone, the cross, like Jesus. A person that is not demanding the respect to be the king, like Jesus and Aragorn and David Goggins. Not demanding the respect by confrontation and coercion and the ways of the world, but by enduring the systemic injustice, bias, and the callousness and the nature of parasitic predators and scavengers. It's like a lion that brings down the prey, a king, a lion that brings down the prey and the supply home to his den. And there are some cheeky hyenas and vultures that the lion invites and says, oh, you can eat with me. And slowly but surely, the hyenas and vultures will test the boundaries of the lion, but the lion is observing them, the patterns, and not forcing them. He will say, well, I will not tell you as an equal, in this case human being, what to do and what not to do. You will reveal yourself by your conduct of behavior and your moral contribution or your moral core. And then slowly but surely, they will come closer and closer and closer and closer until they eat at the same table and want to eat first. Alright? And this is the time the lion will say, you know what, I'm done with you. Yeah, so this archetype is pushed in a circle of hyper-functioning to survive, and take care of others, take responsibility for people who strategically let down responsibility because they know this person will carry the responsibility, the pain, the grief for them. You rather cry for others than allow yourself to take time to cry for yourself. You rather carry the boat and the logs for others than carry them for yourself. You are a person that provides others with unconditional performance. That's your blessing and your curse at the same time, because you not only do it for your loved ones, for vulnerable people that you love and you want to protect, but there will be parasitic predatory elements that will use this against you and even humiliate you for this very trait that you have. They will make it look as if this was weakness and naivety. And when you observe this and then confront them with it, they will try to project their dysfunction and manipulative behavior on you and normalize their behavior. They will say, this is the way of the world. This is how grown-up people are supposed to act. So I just briefly wanted to introduce to you this new archetype that we develop on my YouTube channel. And if this resonates with you, you're invited to check out my channel. In the community section, I have many standalone posts that examine this archetype from many perspectives, by comparing it or finding the same thing in David Goggins' philosophy and approach of creating mental callus, and use physical hyperfunctioning to create a feeling of safety and purpose. We compare it to the narration and the archetype, almost a mythological archetype of Aragorn, Arathorn's son, exiled king that is enduring the systemic injustice in Middle Earth and has to reclaim his identity before he even, let me get through here, before he even can reclaim, he can even think of having a healthy relationship to his anima side, Arwen. We might also, in the future, examine the relationship of the animus type and the anima type, represented by Aragorn and Arwen. Now, again, if this resonates with you, check out my YouTube site. We're talking about these topics on the background of narcissistic, psychopathic abuse. That being said, stay safe, and remember, we want to develop, we want to individuate. We don't want to over-identify and stay stagnant with fantasies, with illusions. We want to work through this and find the peace for ourselves that we want to create for others and that we in fact create for others, but to make it sustainable and deeply rooted, we also need to build it for ourselves. And there is one more thing: people who identify with this archetype have to start building alone, because their moral standard, nobody can keep up with it. Even though we learn our moral standard or we extract it from reality, from ancient Greek philosophy combined with Christianity, the fact is that our world is turning narcissistic and psychopathic, normalizing dysfunctional behaviors, codependent, drug addicted, instant gratification, narrative control, dysfunctional family cult style behavior mechanics is normalized. And we hold mirror up, so yeah, even though this is normalized and we kind of just take what is there in the past, in the development of civilization and morality, nobody can keep up with this standard. Therefore, we have to start building alone, and just when we have results, we may carefully start to invite people into the safety and peace that only a high-functioning griefer can create. And finally, and foremost, we have to create the private space where we can allow ourselves to grieve and love and cry for ourselves as well.